Hi, it's Valerie and welcome to your OT Coaching Tune-Up. Today I wanted to speak a little bit about what happens when we have different decisions to make and where do we really find those answers from. We often have a lot of different information coming in from different people, from other people's opinions, from our friends, for our siblings, our families, and what is really beneficial is when we start to learn to really drop into our own selves, our own inner knowing, our intuition. And I like to think of our intuition as almost like a GPS system inside of ourselves, also our highest self. And intuition, as Carolyn May says, she says that it's not a gift, it's a skill. We all have the ability to intuit. It's just a matter of that if we're not using it, just like any other muscle, it's small, it's not really strong. So it would make sense that we wouldn't really know. And we can experience intuition a few different ways. Basically, there are 4 ways. We can feel, we can see, we can know, or we can hear intuition. So when I say hear intuition, some people think of it, they're going to start hearing all these different voices and this huge, loud, deep voice is going to come in and tell them what to do. When in the end, really, it's not like one voice is Barry Manilow and the other voice is J-Lo. It's your voice. But the voice is really subtle. And the voice comes in and it doesn't tell you what you should do or force you ever. It's a gentle voice that is just creates almost like a calming in your body. Another way is when we see things. So if you find that when you meditate, when you close your eyes, you get certain visions, it could be certain lights, it could be specks and dots, it could actually be people in your mind. That would be a way of seeing your intuition, being intuitive in that way. Another way is by sensing, by feeling. So you might feel it in your body, you might experience a sensation in your belly, a sensation in your heart. When you're around certain people, you might feel certain things. And then the other way is a knowing. Like, for example, when I had no intention going to India. And when I found out one of my teachers was going, it was just a knowing. I got a hit and it was just like, I have to go. I'm supposed to go to India. And then here I am 9 years later and I'm ready to lead my 10th retreat. So I knew I was supposed to go. So those are the different ways that we can do that. What happens is we all have our own dominant way of being intuitive. And it doesn't mean you can't develop the other ways, it's just that one is more dominant. So we can start to really develop them and strengthen them. And some ways that I've done it over time is that you might be able to use, I actually pick angel cards. And when I'm using angel cards, I start to shuffle and ask a question. And in the question, I'll just wait and I'll either feel when it is to stop, or I'll actually hear my own self say it's time to stop the deck, stop shuffling. And the card that I pick is the card that I ultimately need in that moment that's really going to guide me. Another way is by right and left handwriting. So I'll write with my dominant hand, which is my right hand, and I'll write myself a question, and then I'll answer it with my left hand. And I just allow that information to come through me. I don't censor it. I just write whatever comes through me. And then also another way to practice developing your intuition is when the phone's ringing is to guess who it is, or when if you get a phone, you hear your phone text go off and you can just guess who that is when they're calling or when they're texting. And these are just great ways to start developing ultimately a trust within our own selves, a trust that we know who that is, a trust that we know when to stop shuffling, a trust of our own selves. And we start building that up and building that trust up and we start to follow it. There is something that's so powerful that happens. It's so empowering, and that kind of thing nobody can teach you. It's something that we have to develop in our own selves. So give it a shot. Give yourself some time. Maybe try one of these tools. Maybe grab a book on intuition. Maybe go listen to a lecture on intuition. You could probably Google something these days off of YouTube and read or listen to something about creating and developing your intuition and see what happens for you. Have fun with it and stay in touch for all the other things we have going on at Organic Twist, and expect great things.